Okay, now we're live, so we're good to go now.
Nice.
So I got B plus.
Good job.
Nice.
All right. So what happened in this case study, guys? What's the basic synopsis?
So Noodles and Company was formed, and they had a little rough start, but they eventually got through it, and they're super successful now.
Yeah.
That was a great synopsis.
And they have really good food.
Do you have it pulled up in front of you, Trevor?
I couldn't find any questions, so I just came up with my own.
Oh, there wasn't a thing for like the leader?
Maybe.
There is
Should-
no.
I just went into the case study activity instructions. I see it.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what is the fast casual segment?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the right?
Fast casual is basically, from what I understood in the case, it's basically in between fast food and then like casual dining.
Yeah, so like Cafe Rio, Zupa's,
Yeah.
Noodle, like those kinds of places where they're not like a McDonald's or a Wendy's, but they're not like a Cheesecake Factory or an Olive Garden.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. What is the challenge facing Noodles and Company within this segment?
Well, who were they targeting?
They were targeting people from the ages of, I think it was like 18 to like 30 something, and then it was like 18 to 49 years old.
Okay.
I saw that on there. I remember seeing that was kind of like their target audience.
So what were the problems in the segment? Is that what you asked for?
What are the challenges facing them?
I think their biggest challenge was it was one of their. They kind of started that whole fast casual dining. From what it sounded like with the case, I mean, they were kind of one of the first ones.
So that I could see how, like in their circumstance back in 2000, whenever they were starting in 2001, 2002, if fast casual wasn't around, that could be kind of a hard thing to target. Like, we're not really a fast food restaurant, but we're not like a sit down. So that would be kind of hard to introduce that into all the different markets. But that's what they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they're like pretty much when you break it down, like you can swing by Noodles and Company and get food and take it somewhere and eat it, you know. And so they're like a really expensive fast food restaurant, but their food is a lot better. So I feel like that might have been one of their big difficulties was getting people to catch on to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The biggest challenge that I really noticed is just with all the other restaurants opening up, like Chipotle and what was the other one?
Baja Fresh.
Baja Fresh, and then like you mentioned, Cafe Rio and Fazoli's, stuff like that. Just kind of taking their idea and expounding on it so they're not as individualized anymore.
I think also it was challenging for them because they had opened 3 restaurants before they started to make a profit. And I thought that was really interesting that they would do that. That, you know, he was losing money every single month, and he was like, oh, let's open another one here, like on the other side of the country, and I'll just go in between these two. And then another guy was like, oh, I really like this idea, let's open another one. And then they finally figured it out what they need to do to make a profit. And I thought that was interesting. But, I mean, obviously it worked in the long run, but
oh yeah,
want to open 3 locations.
But yeah, it's like, well, obviously we know now that they made a profit, but did any of you guys see the movie The Founder?
Yeah,
I feel like that was kind of
really similar.
like make the first restaurant. I don't even know what to call it. McDonald's, the first one. They like had a good business plan, and it was like perfect.
Yeah,
Ray Kroc came in and he kind of took things over and just started building, you know. And the difference between them was they were making a profit. McDonald's was they were doing good, but they were just kind of, you know, going for it. And I feel like that's kind of what Noodles and Company was doing. And maybe they were doing it because they figured that if they could just get volume, that they would be able to break even, which they did eventually. But if I'm losing thousands of dollars every month, then I'm not going to open 2 more.
yeah.
Yeah. I kind of felt like it was a episode of Shark Tank. You know, when the people come in and they're like, "Oh, but we kept losing money, but we opened up a new store," and the sharks are like, "What the crap?" You know.
It's true.
Is working full time as an employee while developing a new business a good idea or a bad idea?
I think it's a good idea because he didn't do it really quickly. I mean, how long did he work for that company? Like a year or 2 years, right? And then after he had kind of planned everything out, then he was like, all right, I'm going to do this, so now I got to quit so I can actually commit to opening this business and stuff. So I think it was a good idea because he had to provide for his family and he had to make an income somehow. So I think it was good.
And he was straight up with them
Mm-hmm.
when he started. What was it that helped Noodles and Company turn the corner?
It was that third store when they had that flood in the basement. They all kind of got together and they were like, all right, we gotta figure this out. And that was really their turning point, because then after that they started to make a profit and turn things around, and then they were able to apply that to all their other stores.
So my question is, what? So I don't remember. What did they change after that flood? I mean, they said we either close up shop or we make this work.
Yeah.
What did they do?
They kind of went on a field trip and went to a bunch of different restaurants around the country and analyzed what they were doing and what they could change.
Yeah, they went to Chicago, and that's right. Yeah, because he got the whole idea from eating at the little noodle restaurant in New York City, and then.
Which is interesting. You have to wonder, like, if they would have just done that in the first place, would they have made money from the beginning? Like, why didn't they, you know? Which is just something I'm thinking about right now. But if they're losing thousands and thousands of dollars, why did they have to wait until that flood to, you know, have that push them over the edge? I think it was just a shooting.
Yes, I started buying furniture cheap and trying to paint it and resell it here where I live. I live in Idaho Falls, and I mean it wasn't working. I could sell it, but only make a little bit of profit. Versus my in-laws do it in Arizona, and they make, you know, almost 100% profit. They find it in the garbage, you know. And I kind of analyze it. It's the market here in Idaho Falls. There's too many people that are crafty versus in Phoenix. There's a lot of city people, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or maybe my product just sucks.
No, and see, it's kind of like that in Utah here. I've done that before, and in the summer it's like red hot, and like you can buy a couch and put it on KSL, and it's gone in like 2 days, and you can make $80 or $100 on the couch. But during the winter, nobody wants to go outside. Nobody wants to sell anything or buy anything, and so it's just dead in the winter. So that's true, and maybe you could try it at different times of the year. But I think that's one thing about starting a business, especially like noodles, like food. You have to really figure out. You have to really know your market, really study them, which is hard if you live in Salt Lake or Idaho Falls and you want to open one up in Denver. And so you have to almost move there or do a ton of research. So that's something that I felt like as soon as they were able to do that, then that's amazing.
So what should they do now? What's in their future? How are they gonna grow?
So they had like a schedule, didn't they, of how many, and maybe that schedule has already surpassed, but they set a goal of in this year we're going to open up this many stores, next year we're going to open up this many stores, and I don't know if they've reached that or what their numbers are now because that case study was a little outdated, right?
Yeah, that was back in like the
2000
2006.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we should get an updated case study and not read this one again until we have updated.
Yeah, because at the end they wanted to like literally double their stores. They had like 200 something stores and they wanted like 200 something more stores. I mean, I just feel like they're extremely aggressive in their growth ideas and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I feel like they need to franchise if they want to compete with the other new restaurants that are coming into play. If they want to open up, thousands of stores and really grow big.
Okay. So right now it's 50%, right? Noodles own 50%, and then the owner or the manager owns 50%, right? Because they're not
I don't
totally
remember seeing that.
they're not totally franchising them, but I think that I saw something, and maybe that was just when they were starting that.
Yeah.
It might have been royalty, like a 6% royalty or something.
Yeah, because doesn't he own like 20 some percent of the company or whatever, or is that not right?
I don't know.
We are all super informed on this stuff.
This case was so difficult. Like I was like, I don't know what to write. Like, how can I come up with more than 3 problems?
Yeah.
Because it was just pure information, is what I felt like. It was just a story of how it started.
Yep. Well, I was expecting for there to be, at the end, there's kind of a little bit of like, I don't know, what do they do now? Like questions like that, but there wasn't a whole lot of like, the other case studies you've been like, okay, you're an idiot. Why the freak are you doing that? Or I would fire this guy right now, but there wasn't any of that.
Have either of you eaten at Noodles and Company before?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
I had it once. Did you like it, Dan?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's really good. We actually ate there last week. And then I was reading this case study, and my sister-in-law walked in with noodles.
Really? We went there. I'll have to eat a couple more times, I guess, because I only got one thing. But I tried mine and my wife's, and I didn't really like either of them. I just felt like it wasn't very strong taste versus like Pizza Pie Cafe and having their pasta.
Yeah.
And you can have as much as you want, and I feel like theirs is better. So I wasn't a huge fan.
The Noodles and Company, I feel like the hard thing is there's, like we read in the case study, there's like 9 or 10 things you can get there. And they're all totally different. Every time I've gone there, I get the exact same thing. And that's how I feel like everybody that I go with, they're always like, oh, I always get this. And so everybody kind of finds what they like, and they pay $10 for it, And so it's like, okay, whatever.
It's like Cafe Rio. I always get the sweet pork.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, my point in saying that is, like, I don't know. I don't really feel like there's a whole lot of people who are obsessed with Noodles and Company who go there all the time. but maybe there are. But I go there maybe once or twice a year, you know. So, I don't know.
If this was your business, what would you have done differently?
I would not have opened up 3 stores
Yeah, I would have waited till I had a profit.
or just given up.
Yeah.
Which is bad.
No,
What would you do, Tyler, to grow Noodles and Company if it was your business?
I would first start with the one store and I wouldn't want another store until I for sure was making a profit. That way I knew the system. Then once I figured that out, then I would say, okay, I'd like to open a second store. And then once I got to, say, I don't know, maybe 10 stores, then I think it would be a great idea to start franchising them because I would know it's, something that is big enough and people would want to invest in. Because I feel like the best part about franchising is, people are just paying you and you're not having to sit there and manage over it. Just like with McDonald's, they own the property that the McDonald's location was on, and so now they're into real estate and stuff. And so I would have wanted to franchise it after I knew it would be a success.
Yeah.
Or at least had a good idea.
Mm-hmm. But I did feel like after they kind of figured it out, it was like a good, steady growth that they had. So I felt like they figured something out,
Yeah.
Cool. Anything either of you guys want to add?
Nope.
Hopefully next week's is better.
Not.
I will not be here next week.
Okay.
I will be traveling to Washington during our meeting, so I won't be here.
Yeah.
Awesome. That girl still didn't show up.
No.
I know.
Whatever.
All right, I'll get this posted for us.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'll be the group leader next week.